Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be testing out a few new products that I picked up from Sephora. Still in box, I haven't even used them yet. I literally just got them in yesterday. And specifically, we're going to be focusing on a review and wear test on the Makeup Forever Reboot foundation. This foundation's been out for a few months, so I realize you guys have probably already seen reviews on this foundation, but you know what? Better late than never, I say. So we're going to be testing this out. I will be doing check-ins throughout the day and letting you know how it wears. I picked up the shade Y305. I sure hope it's right. I couldn't swatch it in store. I did go into a Sephora yesterday. It's the first time I've been in a store, aside from like the grocery store, in 4 months. And so in Target. So it was quite the experience. You couldn't touch any testers. You couldn't even like pick them up or swatch them. I went in for one product and I ended up leaving with like 10, of course. So this is one of them that we're going to be testing out. I'm also excited to test out this cute blush by Kaja. I'll show you more as we get into the video, but it's a little like stamp blush. Normally I don't like buy these little things, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I hadn't been into a Sephora in months that it just, I don't know what came over me, but I was like, I have to have that. And then I also picked up a little mini size of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard. This used to be a favorite. I haven't had it in years though, but I picked up a mini. I refilled my Gimme Brow. I picked up a couple of hair products, but yeah. So I'm going to be sharing a new product that I love. I got this in a few days ago. It's by Ofra Cosmetics and it's the Samantha March collab. And we're going to be testing not testing, I actually have been wearing this since I received it a few days ago. We're going to be wearing this bronzer and I'm kind of like on the fence because I really wanted to show you guys this blush. I am loving this blush. It's the shade Chicklet and it's a blush and highlight duo, but I'm going to do this one today. But I wanted to share this because it's such a beautiful color, such a beautiful color. I was going back and forth on which one I was going to share today, but I was like, I'm just going to share them both. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the application of the foundation. As far as what I have on my skin right now, I have my, my normal eye cream and my SPF. Currently, I'm using the Elta MD SPF. It has a very slight tint to it. No coverage at all, but it does give a little bit of a tint. I applied that several hours ago, so the skin is actually feeling, I wouldn't say dry, but definitely not like freshly moisturized. I picked this up and I also picked up a skin serum by Ilia Cosmetics that is much more sheer than this. My skin, ever since I did that peel a few months ago, I feel like my skin is like, I don't need a lot of foundation. So I went in yesterday asking for recommendations on really just natural light foundations. And I picked up the Ilia one and then she also recommended this one. So we are going to give this one a try. Before we get started, just a couple of things you need to know about this foundation. This does retail for $39. It comes in 24 shades. It is described as a skin revitalizing foundation that hydrates the skin, smooths and firms the skin for up to 24 hours. It also claims to help with the appearance of wrinkles over time, and I'm going to assume that that's because it's a very hydrating foundation. It's not saying that it corrects wrinkles, it's saying that it helps with the appearance of wrinkles, which is basically a great way to say that it's going to hydrate your skin so that the texture and wrinkles in your skin aren't as obvious, because the more dry your skin is, the more obvious they are. What else? They said on the website it's great for normal to dry skin, so this is not recommended for oily skin. And it's described as being a light coverage. I didn't see anything about wearability claims. I didn't see anything about, this wears up to 8 or 12 hours. So hopefully we get some good wear out of it. It's summertime, so I'm really going to be testing it today since it's, in the middle of June and it's hot as heck here in Texas. All right, so Y305 is the shade that I got. This is what the foundation looks like. It's just over 1 ounce. It's like 1.01, I believe. It does have a pump, which is really nice. I'm going to say when I look at this in the bottle, it looks to be a little dark. However, because it's more of a light coverage, I am going to assume that it shears out really nicely. Plus, I have been using self-tanner. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of dark right now. So I just did about a little over a pump on my hand. This is the consistency, so you can see it is starting to slide down the hand. So more on a liquidy, kind of watery consistency, but not super watery, if you know what I mean. We're going to use the BK Beauty 106 brush, and we're just going to go in, start right here in the center. Let me actually pull you guys in a little closer. Okay, here we are. So we've just applied a little bit here. We don't have anything here right now, so if that gives you some kind of idea of, what it's covering, any imperfections it's covering. Yes, definitely very light. Very, very sheer coverage. What is that scent? What is that? There is a scent to it. It kind of smells like a plant, like a spearmint or a minty plant or some type of like eucalyptus or something. It's not sweet. It doesn't smell like it smells very crisp and clean. Okay, it's super easy to blend because it is more on the sheer side, and it definitely feels and looks very hydrating to the skin. Now, because it is pretty light and sheer, I think I'm gonna go for a second pump. The more light and sheer a foundation is, it's generally gonna have a lot less pigment to it. So that's good for a couple of reasons. One, there's more flexibility in the shade, so you don't have to get so hung up on getting the perfect right shade because it sheers out. So it's, you know, a little bit more forgiving on the skin. But two, you typically need to use a little bit more if you are someone that likes to get kind of, you know, a little more coverage or get the maximum amount of coverage that you can possibly get. See, I haven't even touched the forehead yet. So I'm gonna go back in and we're gonna do a pump of that. But we did about a half a pump there. Now, it doesn't say anything about being a buildable foundation. I will try and build a little bit in the center. My recommendations when you are building a foundation is to apply a light sheer layer first. Give it a few seconds, maybe a couple minutes to kind of set, and then go back and apply a little bit more. That's a better way to build than to grab a ton of foundation at one time and try and apply it and blend it all in. When you do that, usually you're gonna end up using a lot more foundation that you need. It's not gonna look natural, and you're not even really gonna get the most coverage that you can get because basically you're just kind of moving around product that hasn't had time to set and do its job. So give it some time to set, then go back and apply a little more. So now that I've got everything like one sheer layer applied everywhere, this is the amount of coverage. Very, very natural. You can still see little spots that I have here. You can still see my skin. I have a little pinkness here you can still see. That's okay. I don't mind it. I actually kind of like this amount of coverage. It has a very like satiny glow to the skin, especially in the areas where the light is hitting the face. It doesn't feel sticky or tacky at all though. It really doesn't, which is nice because sometimes a lot of these satin foundations will feel like they need to be set right away. This doesn't necessarily feel that way. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna build it, and I'm gonna just add a little more here in the center of the face. And I know I say this in every video, but if you're the first time here, then you might not have heard this, and that is when you're trying to get the most coverage from a foundation or a concealer, any type of complexion product, use this technique where you're just pressing rather than like swiping, because when you swipe, you're just shearing and blending out. So I'm just gonna press, press, press. If you have the right brush, it'll do all the work for you. Okay. Perfect. I feel like I could add a little more if I wanted, but the whole purpose of this foundation and the whole reason, you know what, I'm just gonna grab whatever's left on my hand, which is not much. The whole reason I wanted this foundation is because I did want something light and natural. I didn't want anything heavy. Oh, that's really pretty. Okay. So next I'm gonna go and apply some concealer. I'm gonna use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I got a little mini one. This was kind of one of those impulse purchases that was like I was standing in line to check out and I saw it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab that. So I remember loving this. When I first started my YouTube channel, I remember loving this. And then, you know, you start doing videos and you feel like you need to buy every concealer that comes out, and then you forget about things you love. This is it's so like interesting to go back to a product that you used to love and you haven't used it in years and then try it and kind of like see what you loved about it. It's so much lighter than a lot of the concealers that I'm using now. I feel like we've gone into this like dive of full coverage concealers over the years, and this definitely does not have that texture. I'm using the Sigma F79 concealer brush. This is one of my favorite concealer brushes. Hourglass has another brush that I like. I forget the name, but it's a duo brush. So on one side, it's kind of a tapered brush, and then one it's like a rounded. It's almost kind of like our 106, but smaller. And I like to use the pointed tip for concealer too. But the Sigma F79 is it's just perfect. It is perfect. So I'm just gonna press this under the eye. This color is great. I like that there's some yellow brightness to it. Oh, there goes some lashes. I'll have to clean those up in just a second. I like that there's some brightness to it because it really does a great job of, sorry guys, that's a little distracting. It does a great job of highlighting under the eye. Okay, and I'm just gonna use my finger to go over and kind of blend it out. Make sure I don't have too much applied there. This is another area that I've noticed recently. If I go too heavy with concealer, it is not a good look by the end of the day. Okay, perfect. So that is what our skin looks like after foundation and concealer. The foundation, I like the way it looks. It looks very natural. It almost kind of reminds me of the Face Atelier Ultra foundation that I love. A little bit more, it has the same type of finish, just that really natural satin finish, not too shiny. And I would say as far as coverage, maybe not as much as the Face Atelier, but kind of right there. It's really, really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to, let's clean our hands and let's go ahead and set this. Okay, to set everything, I'm gonna just use a light kind of veil of the Pat McGrath. What is this powder called? It's called the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Setting Powder, and I have the shade Light Medium 2. I like this powder because it is very lightweight, and it doesn't really alter the finish of Radiant Finish Foundation. So it's not so matte that it's gonna kind of cancel out that radiance. Whenever you use a satin foundation, it's kind of pointless if you go and set it with a powder that just completely cancels that out. So I'm using this one just so I can still keep some of that glow. And I'm gonna be very, very, very light-handed with it. I'm kind of avoiding the apples of the cheeks because I'm gonna go in with a cream blush there. And so it'll be nice not to have any powder there. All right, so I just set everything very light, very sheer. Let's go ahead and bronze up the skin. So this is my new favorite bronzer. I feel like I've gotten so many bronzer over the last couple of weeks, but this is so beautiful. It's the Samantha March collab with Ofra Cosmetics, and this is the shade River. So you get a bronzer and you get this beautiful, beautiful highlight. The texture of these powders is like just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so velvety and it's just so soft and velvety, and you get a lot of pigment. So I'm going to use the 107 brush, and I'm just going to kind of dust right here. I'm not going to dig too much in it because it has a lot of pigment, and I want to keep it, you know, on the more natural side. And I'm actually going to kind of blot it on my hand. I'm just going to come back here in the hairline and kind of give myself a little bit of warmth there. This bronzer is one of those bronzers that would actually look great as a blush too. It's kind of like a bronzy apricot color, so you could even wear this as blush. The only reason I'm not going to do that today is because I really want to try that new blush that I got. I didn't even get to test it in Sephora, so it was kind of one of those purchases that I was like, I'm either going to love this or I'm not going to love it. I'm either going to love it or I'm going to hate it. So we're going to find out here in just a second. I'm going to take it into my hairline too. Look at those white hairs. Okay, all right, so now let's try this. I'm kind of excited about this. This is by Kaja, and it's called the Blendable Blush Cheeky Stamp, and it literally is a stamp, you guys. So you have the product here. I'm gonna take this little sticker off so you guys can see it. It's kind of like a cushiony blush. If you're familiar with those type of products, cushion foundations, cushion blush, that's what you get. It's kind of like that. And then on the other side, you have the stamp. So how does this work? Oh yeah, you just pop the little stamp out. It's in the shape of a heart. And apparently you just like pick it up like that. Oh, it picked up a lot. Wish me luck, I'm kind of nervous. And I'm gonna just stamp 2 little hearts on my cheeks. Oh my gosh, is that not so cute? Okay, and then we're gonna go and blend this out. So I'm gonna use the same 107 brush, and I'm just going to smile and kind of blend. Okay, I feel like you gotta work quickly because it's almost like that. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, and it blends out really nice. I do feel like you kind of have to work a little quickly because I noticed when I first put my brush down, I had to put a little bit more pressure to kind of, you know, shear out that heart shape. Ooh, that is nice. I love that. Okay, Kaja. I have purchased this, and then I purchased one of those stackable glitter shadows that I really like. Now, how do we put this back in? We just do that? Yeah, okay. Okay, that is so cute. Kind of big and bulky, but really cute. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows and my eye makeup and lips, and I'll be right back. Okay, so all of my makeup is done. I'll have every product that I use listed in the description box below. I want to kind of summarize my thoughts on the foundation before we move on. It is exactly 1 p.m. So just to give you guys a time reference, I'll be checking in throughout the day and give you updates on how the foundation is wearing. So it's had plenty of time to set. Looks super natural. It doesn't accentuate any texture on the skin. The only thing that I'm noticing on my face right now where my texture seems to be accentuated is under my eyes, and I'm going to credit to the concealer for that. I think I applied too much. Also, I didn't freshly moisturize under the eye, which is a big no-no when applying concealer. So the foundation though itself looks really, really nice. You don't even really see it on the skin. Typically when a foundation is too heavy, I really see it build up right here in between my brows because I tend to have like a little bit of like tougher skin there, a little tougher texture. And it's very smooth and very light and natural. It's pretty beautiful. I kind of love the way this looks. So the big question is, how is this going to wear throughout the day? So 1 p.m. right now. I will see you guys in just a bit and we will cross our fingers, cross our toes, cross all of our fingers. Can we do this? I don't know. And see how this wears. So yeah, stay tuned. Hey friends, checking in with you guys. It is 5:15 p.m. I just got in my car from Target, just took my little mask off, and I wanted to give you guys an update. So since applying the foundation at 1 o'clock today, I have touched up. I touched up about an hour later because I filmed another video and I wanted everything to be really matte. So I just added a little bit more of the Pat McGrath loose powder. I'm looking in the mirror now and everything looks really good. It doesn't seem to be settling in anywhere. It looks about as good as could be expected. The only area that I feel like my texture is really kind of showing is right here. You can see my pores, and then of course underneath my eyes, which, you know, is not really where I applied the foundation anyway. Even having my mask on, I was in Target for about an hour, and maybe not an hour, 30 minutes. And it's still in place. It didn't seem to transfer too much. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit, I don't even know if you can see this, but there is a little bit down here in the center, but I mean, I think that's kind of the case with every single foundation. At this point, things are looking really, really good. I'm not excessively oily or shiny at all. I expected to feel the need to touch up a little bit more than I have already. What has it been? It's been a little over 4 hours. It's like 85 degrees and humid today, so that is where we are at. I will check back in with you guys in a few hours. I set my alarm to check in around 8:30 or 9 p.m. So far, so good. So far, I'm really liking this foundation. Let's see how it wears in the next few hours. I got a bunch of stuff back there, by the way. I went into Target to get something for the girls, and why does it do this? Why does that happen to me? Always at Target. I never can go in and just get what I need. It's kind of like the Sephora, right? Sephora and Ulta. Anyhow, I'll see you guys in just a bit. Okay, so I decided to come up to my makeup room for the final check-in. I wanted to turn all the lights on and zoom the camera in really close rather than just use my phone because I really want you guys to see how the makeup is wearing. So let me pull you guys in and let's take a look. Okay, so here we are. Here's what the foundation looks like. So we are coming up to, it's 8:48 p.m. So we are almost at 9 hours of wear. I've touched up once and that was pretty early into the day. It was like an hour after applying the foundation. That was around 2 or so because I was filming that video and I wanted my foundation to be a little more matte, but I haven't touched up since then. I did get out of the house and run an errand. It's the middle of June. It's hot in Texas. So when I look at the foundation, is it perfect? No, there are some areas that, you know, are kind of always my like trouble areas, which is right around the nose. You can see that, you can just see the foundation kind of build up here a little bit. You can also see it settling a little bit here in the texture in my pores and on my nose. I was wearing a mask when I was at Target, so I think that is probably why you're seeing some transfer here. But overall, I think the foundation looks pretty good. If I were to compare this to other satin finish foundations, I think after almost 9 hours of wear and very little touch-up, I'm impressed. I think it looks great. I didn't put a primer underneath it. I think if I had put a primer underneath it, I probably would have had even more long wearability. Comparing it to like a long wear matte finish foundation, you know, it's definitely dewier in places, a little more dewy than is my comfort level, but overall I think this foundation is really nice. It doesn't really look heavy at all throughout the day. It doesn't start to look cakey or heavy, with the exception of right here around the nose. But I think that, you know, to be fair, like I said, it's the middle of June and it's hot and it is a satin finish foundation, so I kind of like it. I'll let you guys take a quick close look and you can be the judge, but I kind of like it. I think this is definitely going to be one that I mix into the rotation for foundations. Okay, let me zoom you guys out real quick and then we'll wrap up the video. All right, you guys, that wraps up this video. I'm going to head downstairs, wash my makeup, and go catch an episode of Little Fires Everywhere. I don't know if you guys have started watching that show. I'm like 2 or 3 episodes into it, and I'm going to go catch one tonight. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this review. Overall, I'm really pleased with this foundation. It is one that I would recommend for normal to dry skin if you are looking for a natural satin finish with light to medium-ish coverage. It's really not going to get you anywhere above medium coverage, but I think it's really, really nice. So I am pleased with it. I'm glad I picked that one up. Again, I'll have my shade listed in the description box below for you. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you've tried this foundation, what are your thoughts on it? I will be honest, I have yet to watch a review on this foundation, so I don't even know what others are saying about it, but I am personally a fan. So good job, Makeup Forever. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.